how to install it, how to install Cypress, how to set it up on your environment, right? And how to write your first test and all of that. We have the video. So you need to go to those videos, check them, take your time to go through them, so that you will not be lost in these other ones we are doing now. Uh, so um once again, it's really important that we always are available for classes. Yeah, because there you are able to ask questions on things you don't understand. Now, if you go and watch a video and there's something you don't understand, you will then, you don't have that chance of asking immediately. Then you start, trying to reach out to us. Oh, I don't understand this part or something. And then you start telling you, oh, you need to hold on, we'll get back to you or something. So it's just very much okay to be on the call while the class is ongoing in life. So, yeah, we're going to get started just now. So yesterday we shared, we used a particular website. All right. So we used a particular website yesterday. So, and we use this practice. Okay, let me go to the site actually. So this was the site we used. What are you seeing currently? Hello? Can you hear me? Is my network
Yes.
okay?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Oh, okay. Please, I need us to be responding so that uh I need us to be responding so that I can know that, oh, you are with me or you are not lost. Let the class be interactive as much as we can. Yeah, so we visited this website yesterday and we automated this particular site. So we automated. Now, if you look at this, okay, I think I used this guy. So we created a file. James, please, can you mute? Thank you. So now we automated these practice colors. I know. So this website, we automated it, and these were the things that we did. I'm going to explain all of this to us why automating the next thing. So what we did yesterday was just accessing the website. That's site.visit where we access the website. Then when we access the website, we clicked on some elements, then fill a particular form, make some assertions on those forms to be sure that our test is passing. We also did downloading and uploading of a file, right? Um, Also, we made assertions on that as well. So those are just the things we did yesterday. But today, we want to look at how to automate a form, maybe a registration form or something. So, but before we do that, I want to please let me share my screen and share my whole screen so that you can see everything I want to share. Okay, I think this is needed currently. So, what are you currently seeing, please? Hello.
Scholar auto test.
Okay, you are seeing the codes, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, I want to run Cypress. Okay. I just want to show us what we did yesterday. Okay. Then we'll go to today's one. quickly. I want this class to be less than 2 hours. So let's see how fast we can do that actually. I think the network is slow right now. Okay. Okay, I think the network is slow. Need to launch that again. So let's put on. Okay, so why that is good thing. So I want to show something. Okay, so this was the website we automated yesterday, and we automated this part. The first thing we did was to visit this URL that you are seeing, this website address. So this URL, we visited it. So after visiting the URL, I think my network is slow right now. Still loading. Okay, I think it's still loading. So this was the website that we visited and automated for our class yesterday. So on this website now, you are going to see different cards. We have element cards, we have forms, we have alert frame, window, widget, interaction, and some other things. And the first thing we did after we accessed the website was to click on this element. After clicking on this element, we automated text box. We automated this text box and we did some assertions and all of that. Then we also, the next thing we did was to download here and also upload. So these are the things we did. Please, you can get your hands on this website to practice with all of these elements. So today, what we'll be doing is we are going to be clicking on this form and we're going to click on this practice form, and then we are going to automate this whole form, this student registration form. So we are going to automate the form and we are going to click on submit button, and then we are going to make assertions in all of them. So that's what we want to do today. Now, when we were doing this yesterday, it took us a lot of time to get it done. That's because we were explaining, right? But the point is, after we have done after we have done writing the codes in less than 1 minute, you can test this whole thing in just less than 1 minute, right? You can test for all these guys. If I believe if you want to do manual testing, like without using a tool, if it take you more than 1 minute to start typing, to put all of this stuff, it will take you less than 1 minute. That is clear, right? That is clear. With automation, in less than a minute, you are done because it's super fast. And whatever you have written yesterday, you can still use it today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, you know. So that's the essence of making use of automation code, and it makes your work faster. The code doesn't get tired, you know. All you need to do is just to run it again, right? And then you're able to bring your test results and all of that. Currently, what we are doing is a kind of positive part scenarios. There is what we call negative testing. We are not even getting to all of that in this particular session, so we are not getting to that. But I'm just going to show you how to automate peak web elements, and of course, interact with them. These are typically for beginners, like I said before. For mid-level and advanced, there are better ways. There are better ways to handle all of these guys. You don't necessarily have to put all your tests in one file. There will be multiple files and all of that. So, but I think for your level, these are the things you need currently. So I'll go back to, okay, so let me run. I want to bring up Cypress, NPS, Cypress, open. So while that is running, these are the things we want to do. So the first thing we want to do today is that you want to come here. Notice something. You see this URL, this URL. Please, if you can hear me, kindly confirm you are following me. I want you to know that. You see that everyone is busy. Should we postpone this class?
Can hear you, sir. Can hear
No,
you,
sir,
sir.
we can hear you.
I need your feedback.
Can hear you,
Okay, sir.
sir.
So that you
Yeah.
don't make me feel like I'm the only one on this call. Yeah. All right. So you see this URL. You see this URL right now. Yeah. Thank you. You see this URL right now. This is the main domain. This is the base URL. So if I go to my code and I come to this place, Cypress config.js. If I come here, you're going to see this base URL that I set here. All right. I put it here. Now, this base URL is, your every website normally have different pages, different parts. All right. So, but get to the you need a base URL like this. Now, if I put another slash like this and I put say forms and I enter it, it's going to take me to forms. Can you see it? It's taking me to this form right now. If I enter, let's say, elements. Okay, so I think I'm making a mistake there. If I enter elements, so you see that it took me to this element. You clicked on it, it just take me to the element straight up, right? So now in your code, you have set this part like this. Now in your test file is where you are implementing, your code to interact with the website that you want to interact with. Now, you can set site.visit and set the path like this. Normally I'm supposed to put the URL that I want to access here, but because I have set it up globally, so when I say globally, it means that I put the URL in a place where anywhere in my test file, I can always make a call to that web URL. So this is the test file, and I've implemented some code here. So I can make a call to that URL to go to the website to do that. That's what I'm doing here in this block. I'm saying visit this URL for me. Then I put this slash. The moment I put this slash, Cypress will recognize that I'm trying to call this particular URL, and it will launch it for me. So that's what that does. But if I don't want to go to the main domain, I want to go to a particular page on that domain, what I will do is I will just put this slash, then I put the path to that place element like this. It will go straight to the element page. That's where I want to be. If I put forms, it will go straight to forms. That's what I want to do, right? So I'll leave this out like this. Now, based on what I said, right, we are coming to forms, and we're going to click on practice form. And once we click on practice form, the next thing we want to do is to start automating all these guys. So forms. Okay. So if I click on this practice form, it click me down here, right? So What I want to do is I want to navigate straight up to this page directly and then start automating immediately. So I want to save myself the stress of capturing the URL first, then inspecting this guy, these forms, clicking on it first, then click on this one again. I don't want to do all of that. I just want to go straight up to where the form is. So once I click, I want to open this one. Immediately it is opened. The first thing I want to do is I want to find out whether it is open. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to start automating all these guys. So let's get started with it. But before I do that, I need to explain basic things to us so we will have a better understanding of what I'm about to do. Now, there's what we call assertions. I explained this yesterday, but because of those who are not on the call, I'm just going to explain that to us now. So there's what we call assertions. So what is assertion? Assertion in automation is to confirm whether your your actual result is matching your expectation or whether they are not matching. So that's the essence of assertion. So when you are testing normally, if your actual result doesn't match your expected result, what will you call it? Anyone? I'm asking a question. If you are testing and your actual result doesn't match your expected result, what will you call it?
That's a bug.
That's a bug. So it's failed, right?
That's
Now,
the failed.
if your actual result matches your expected result, it is what?
It's pass.
It's passed. Good. Now in automation, it's the same way. So assertion is what to make you compare your actual result against your expectation. All right. So you need to know that. Now, let's get started with this. Then, okay, I think I also need to explain for okay. On the go so that we save and now so what we first need to do on this, if you see this end to end, let me delete this guy. Okay. I'll just leave it. I think it's part of the things we did yesterday. So this end-to-end folder, you are going to right click on it and create new file, right? Inside that new file, I will call it, I want to name the file something. I'll call it registration. Okay, let me call it.
Please, can you enlarge this thing for us so that we can see very well, sir?
Oh, you can see it well, right?
Yes, let it be big.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I can get that done. Just a minute. Font size. Is it my network, right? Sure. Just a moment. Maybe you can come. Oh, it's too big. What I did makes it too big. Let me reduce it, please. Um, 18. Let's look at 18. 9. I think it's a little better now. Is it better than before? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
it's better.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
it's better.
The little bit better.
Okay. Okay. Now, so what you need to do is to come here and create. Oh, sorry, that's not how I'm supposed to create a file. So on this E2E file, E2E folder, you right click. And click new file. I'll select registration. So now, student registration on the side of DS. Now, this is the test file, an empty test file, right? So now, before you do anything, I'm going to put these three slashes, right? And then I'm going to put this guy, Cypress. So again, I'm going to put it. I'm going to say reference. And make use of double quotation. On here and then on here. So we are good. So now this is the first thing you need to put. Although globally I've already set it so that whether I don't put it in my test file or not, it still works. So it's the same thing I'm doing here, const configuration. So this const means constant. Define configuration required Cypress. So once I do this, any test file I created, automatically it's going to read it. So I don't necessarily need this in my test file, but I'll still put it anyways. This guy is saying that anything I'm putting here, please reference Cypress. So that's what he's saying. So if it doesn't, it's not going to work. So now, yesterday I spoke about test suites and test cases, right? Test suites is the combination of different test cases, right? Bringing together different test cases. Test suites practically includes multiple test cases. So let me put it that way. But not just any kind of test case, but related test cases. So I'm just because we are dealing with student registration in Cypress, describe like this. When you say describe, is used to describe the test suite. So inside the describe block, that's where you are going to have the different test test cases that we want to automate. So in this case now, describe is our test suite. That's how your Cypress will always start. It starts from test suite. Then inside the test suite, you now create your test cases. Now, in this case, I'm going to say student. So you see that there is suggestion for us, right? And the reason why that is happening is because Cypress has an inbuilt intelligence. Besides that, there is an AI. I have already integrated this with Copilot. So because of that, it's giving me suggestions as I'm typing. It just make your life easier as a QA engineer or when you are writing this code. So it's not everything. So the secret is not everything that you are certainly going to know. All right. And once you run into an error, don't be afraid. All you need to do is copy that error, put it in the AI copilot. For instance, if I click this guy right now, you're going to see describe what to build next. I've already integrated it with Copilot. So if I'm having issues, I just copy the issue, paste it here, and say, Copilot, please look at this for me. What's the issue? Help me correct it. And then you are good to go. So coding these days aren't as difficult as it was. Now, student registration, uh, okay, let me just say, filling student registration, right? So once you do this, now notice that this text that I wrote here is inside like quotation mark, single quotation symbol. So it's in between two single quotation symbols, the opening and the closing quotation symbol. It has to be there like that. So the next thing you put comma. Once you put comma, you put brackets like this. So after putting the bracket, you put equals to symbol, then greater than symbol, and then you put curly braces. This is what we call curly braces. This is something like brackets. So we call it bracket, but in coding, we call it curly braces. So this is how to set your describe block. So once you have done that, this arrow is called arrow function. It is called arrow function. It is a function. You can, instead of using arrow, you can write function here. All right, it will still work. Right. So this guy is a function. So you want to use it to perform a function. Now, I'm just going to use the arrow back. I prefer using the arrow. So this is okay. Now, you see that before I even type, AI is already suggesting for me use before ish. So I'm going to say before ish. So what is before ish? What is before ish all about? So I'll put bracket, then another bracket. After that, the next thing is to put my arrow function, then bracket. So the same way. Now, why am I using this before ish? This before ish is to visit the website. And this before ish, anything you are going to put inside before ish should be something that you are saying before you run every test in this test suite. For every test in this test suite, before you run them, whatever I executed is always run it first. That's what he's saying. Before each, so practically, you are going to have different if blocks. So let me see my first test. Right. So this is my first, this is my first test. Then you can have another one like this. My second test case. Then you can have another one like this. My third test case. And the test case keep going on and on and on. But notice that everything is within everything, all the things I'm writing, they are within this describe. This is where the describe starts from. And this is where it ends. This block, this thing I'm highlighting. So everything you are going to write, every test case you are going to write, they are going to be inside the describe block because the describe is a test suite. So all your test cases will be within that test suite. So that's what this is doing. Now, this before each, I'm saying that before each of these guys, first run whatever code I put inside this place. So that's what that before each is doing. So in my own case, I want to visit the website. So I'm going to say slash. So you put site.visit, then bracket, inside the bracket, you put single quotation, and then you put this forward slash. So this forward slash now is going to automatically go into my cypress.config file and run this guy for me. It's going to launch this website. So let's try that out. Let's try that out. So where's our file again? Student registration, right? So I'm going to okay, before I clear these guys, let's run something. I want to show you something. Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now, this is our file. This is the file we created, student registration. So I'm going to click on it. So the moment I click on it, it's already running, right? You can see it running. Now let's see what happens. Now you can see my first test, right? My second test, my third test. Can you see that? All these are test cases. Can you see them? These are the tests we implemented inside that block. But you see that before it's run, it's first launching the website for us, right? It's first launching the website for us. Can you see that? So once it's finished launching the website, let's see what happens next. So currently, the first test is waiting to be executed, right? But it's currently launching the website. So what happens after launching the website? But remember that inside here, we didn't put anything else to do. Then the before each block that we created. Now, the first one is done. It's going to run the second one. But before it runs the second one, what will happen? It will go back and relaunch that website. Do you understand? It will go back and relaunch the website. Can you see what is going on right now? So before it executed the second test, what is it doing? Is launching that website again. Because I said the command we have issued is that before each of these test cases, first thing you need to do is to go and do what? Launch the website, relaunch the website. So that's what is going on. So after launching it again, before it goes to the third test, it will do what again? It will relaunch the website. So that's exactly what the guy here is achieving. You see now, it has gone to the third one. So it's trying to launch the third one. It's trying to execute the third one. So what happens with the third one? It's also going to launch the website first. Can you see that? It's launching the website again. So that's the sequence of how to run your Cypress test cases and all of that. So what we have done here are just structures. We have created structure, right? So now what do we do next? I'm going to run just one test case. I'm not going to do multiple. I'm just going to do one. So I'm going to remove all these guys. I'm going to remove all these guys. I only need one test case. All that registration, the entire registration form we want to automate, I will use just one test case for it. Now, notice that this website is just going straight to this particular page, right? The moment I run it, it's going to demoqa.com. But I don't want it to go to demoqa.com. I want it to go to a specific form. I want it to go to this form. And once it gets to this form, I want it to click on this practice form. So because of that, this is what I will do. I'll copy this part, this automation practice form. I will copy it. So after I have copied, I'll come back to my Cypress and I'll put it behind this forward slash like this. Now, notice that it has the complete URL is demoqa.com, then for automation Cypress form, right? But inside my code, I am putting / automation practice form. The main base URL, the main domain is already inside my config file. This is it here. So this is the main one from which I can now navigate to different pages. So because I want to navigate to this particular form, that's why I'm doing this. Now, if I come back here and click this rerun, what happens? Where is it going to go? So let's see what happens. You see that what it will display this time will be different from what it was displaying before. It just goes straight up to that form. So we can start automating directly. Can you see it now? Hello, guys. Can you see what's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Good. So now, what has this done for us as a QA engineer? There are shortcuts you should know how to do. That's what I've just shown you here. Don't then, because there is a way you can, for instance, now, if I come to the web page here, I can come here and say, oh, I want to first so it will take me back to the home page. Now I can come here and first inspect this form and say inspect. After inspecting, I'll look for the ID or something. Let me say click. So I can copy this guy and then go to my automation code. After I will write some code and say click on it. After clicking on it, it will open. I will now come here. I will say I will inspect this one again. I will inspect this one again. After inspecting, I will say click on it. Then I will now come back and start doing all these automation that I actually wanted to do on the form. So that's a long way. Just if you can navigate to the page directly, just navigate to the page directly and start your automation from it. That's a better way to go around it. So like that, I've skipped like 2 steps. So now we are on the page right now, right? We're on the page right now. I want to be sure that the system actually navigated to the page. So what do I do? We are going to start. So let me even ask, how do you confirm whether the system have navigated to the page? What are you going to do now? What are you going to do? What are you going to use to confirm that? Yeah. I want to confirm that after I launch this website now, how am I going to know? How will the code know? How will Cypress know that, okay, you have navigated to where I want it to be? How? What do you do? I've explained it when we started. So what do you do? What do you make use of? Oh, yeah. Somebody's trying to say something. Oh, yeah, now, how do you know that something passes or fails? Hello? How do you confirm that something passes or fails? If you are saying, I can't see your comment, if you put something in the comment section, someone should just read it out. How do you know that something passes or fails?
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. If it passes, if it met the required criteria, then if it fails, if it did not meet the required criteria.
In automation now, how do you know that it fails or passes? What do you do to know that it fails or passes? Please going to answer now.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Go ahead.
I'm not sure, but I think we are going to inspect it from that terminal area down the line on Cypress.
Hold on. You're already running your code. Now, when we ran this code the other time, it shows us this practice registration, student registration form. But I can't be stopping it along the line when it is running to check whether it actually shows the form or it doesn't show the form. How do I know that my code actually shows this form? What do I need to do to confirm that my expectation is, this is my expectation. I want to launch this form. The moment I launch it, my expectation is that this form should shows up. So how do I know that this expectation is met? What do I need to do? What am I going to use? What's the concept? I've explained it. How do you know that your actual result matches your expected in automation?
Assertion, right?
Assertions. Assertion. It's as simple as that. Assertion. Case closed. So now I want you to pay attention. I am being intentional in asking these questions. I want to know whether you guys are actually following me. So now I have launched that website. How do I know that what I was expecting, the form I was expecting, is what was being displayed? Now, this is what I need to do. And this is what you need to do. You need to check that page. This is the page. Once I click on this guy, it takes me down here. Or once I launch this URL, it takes me down here. You already know this is what I am expecting. For some reasons, if the system is failing and you launch this guy and it's taking you to widgets, it takes you to this guy. But that was not what you launched. Then you already know that it's failing. So that's how you know now. So if I click on practice form now, I'm expecting to see this guy. Now, if you look at the form, what can I use on this screen to capture that this page actually displays? Look at this student registration form. I don't think there's any other student registration form on this page. So I can use this text to make assertion. So I'll copy this text, right? And I'll come back to my code. And here, I'm going to say, I want to do assertion. No, I'll say sci.contains, right? Student registration form, right? And I'll now say dot. Now, assertion is always starting with should, because you are expecting that something should be displayed, something should be visible, something should. Anywhere you see should, that's an assertion. It should be visible and should be this. So, but in this case, I'll just say should be dot visible. So if you don't click on that form, for instance, so what am I doing here? Asserting that the student form is displayed. That's what I'm trying to do here. So I want to know whether it's displayed or not. Right. So let me launch it again. If I launch it now, what happens? So it's launching the website. So as you can see, it's already displayed, right? We can confirm by ourselves that it's displayed. But again, how do you tell Cypress, the automation, that, oh, this thing was displayed or not? Now, this is it. If you look at this guy, look down here, this test runner. This is what we call Cypress test runner. Now, if you look here, you see assert expected to be visible. So what are we saying should be visible? Student registration form. That's it. Contains student registration form to be visible. So, and it was visible. But if I put something else now, I say student registration form completed, right? It's going to fail. Why? Because nothing like that is going to be visible on that form, right? So let me launch it again to show you that. So what happens now? Let's see. Now what happens? a face. Now, so you see that this failed. Now, why did it fail? Look at it. It says contains student registration form completed. That's what I'm expecting, Abby. But you now say assert expected subject to be visible. I want this guy, student registration form, to be visible. But what does Cypress say? Cypress says timeout retrying after 4,000 milliseconds expected to contain expected to find content student registration form completed but never did. Why? Because that was not on the form, and that was why it failed. What if I say here, okay, this is even okay. Student registration form should be on the form, and it should be visible. I now said should not be visible. I don't want it to be. I say if you nudge this website, this form, once it comes up, this should not be visible. But we already know that that should be visible, right? So if I nudge it, it's going to fail. It's going to fail because I'm saying it should not be visible, but it was visible. So what happens next? Let's see. Hello, guys. Are you following?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, beautiful. So what happens? Now it's running. Now it failed. So why? It says, now come up here. It says, now when you see anything that fails, this is where you even know whether it fails or pass, right? Because this is a test run, and this is where you debug it. Contains student registration form, right? And that was there. Student registration form was there. This is what it is. But the expectation, we are saying we don't want it to be visible. Now it's saying not to be visible, right? It's saying not to be visible. That's what you're expecting. But it failed because the thing was visible. We know it's going to be visible, but we are saying we don't want it to be visible. So it's going to definitely fail. It's going to definitely fail. So that's how to use assertion. I'm just showing you what assertion is. Now, I'm going to say should be visible back. So once this has been launched, we want to know whether the form was visible. So we use dot should be visible, and it was visible. So now let's go ahead and write other things. Now we are going to be very fast now. I'm just going to, if you miss it class, go back, take the video and watch it so that you can know how to how to inspect your web elements, how to make use of them, the ID, the class, and all of that. I'll not be explaining that here. I'm just going to be taking the web elements and going straight forward. So I'm going to inspect this first name. I'm clicking inside first name. I'm inspecting it. So after inspecting, I can see that there is an ID for first name. So I'm copying this ID equals to first name. I'm going to confirm whether it is just one element matching. So yeah, it's one element matching. So I'm going to click this guy, come back to my form, and I'm going to say typing into the first name feed. So now I'm going to say site.get, all right? And once I put site.get, I put this and I say dot type. Of course, I'm typing into it. And this time I'm going to say Rumade, right? So I'm typing this name in the first name box. I'm going to say dot should. So I want to assert that once, see, this is what I'm trying to do. Let me show you what I'm trying to do so you understand. What I'm saying here is, I want to type inside this first name box and I'm typing Orumade. So once I type Orumade, I want to confirm whether it was actually typed in, right? I want to confirm whether it was typed in. That's why I'm using assertion. Assertion is a way to confirm that what you have done is actually what is being done. So, and I'm going to say should have dot value. So what should be the value now? What value have I typed in? This was the value I typed in. So I want to confirm whether that value was typed in. So I just have to bring the value back here. So should have dot value Orumade. So that's how to know whether that is passing or not. So now the next thing I'm typing into the last name feed, right? So now what do? I come back to my Cypress to my web page, and I'm going to just right click inspect again. And after inspecting, I'll come to the DOM and check. Okay, so there is ID for last name, and I'm going to pick ID. Most of the time, make sure you are making use of an ID, because ID does not often change. Identity is identity, right? If your name is Olumide is Success, then your name will remain Olumide is Success, except for female who gets married later and then changes his or her. But if, for instance, you have NIN certificate, NIN number, your NIN number will always remain your NIN number. It's your identity. That's what I'm saying. You have international passport. Your international passport will always be your international passport. It's not going to change. So it's your identity. So now ID is the best way to identify these elements uniquely so that it will not often change. So now if I come back here, I see side of get, right? This time I'm pasting the first name, the last name. I'm going to say dot type, because what am I doing? I'm actually typing, right? So I'm going to put Bright here. So Bright is the last name there. I'm going to say dot should, right? Have dot value. So again, what I'm doing here is I want to confirm whether that Bright was actually typed in. All right. So this feed should have a value after I've typed in. I'm expecting it to now have that value that I typed in. So, and that's why I'm putting Bright, right? So the next thing there. So let's go back to that side. I hope you are following, guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are following,
Okay,
sir.
good. So this time I am the email is Bright at orumade.bright@yopme.com. So orumade.bright@yopme.com. So that's the email I want to use. But okay, I'm going to remove all of these guys. So I'll come back here and click. So once I click, you're going to see that there is a ID for this email. So I'm going to copy the ID. But before I do that, let me quickly do something here. I want to paste these in, right? So so type, okay, dot typing into the email feed, right? I'll say site.get, okay. So dot should have dot value. What's the value? I'm expecting it to have the email back. So this is the value I'm expecting after I've typed it in. But we need to first get that element. So let's get the element. So I'll come back to this guy. So I'll copy the ID for this element, right? So I want to check whether it is 1 1. So if you are wondering what 1 of 1 is, please check the last video. So this is it here. 1 of 1. It has to be matching. So I'm going to copy this guy. I'm going to come straight down here and paste it. So now I've done that. So the next thing I want you to do, I want to, let's check what's next. The next thing I want to check gender. So in this gender, I want to select male. If I select male, female should not be selected, and other should not be selected. If I select male, male should not be selected, and other should not be selected. If I select other, male and female should not be selected. So what am I going to do? I'm going to select female in this instance. So I'm going to inspect, come down here and click this guy. So now, if you look at it, you're going to see gender. This gender is for male. Okay, for the female gender, because I want to pick female. So I think this is the female one. Now, if you look at this guy, there is an ID. ID equals to gender dot radio 2. So I'm picking this ID. This is the ID I'm picking because I want to pick that of female. So, so you see that it's matching with female one. So I'm going to pick this guy. Yep. Now I'll come down here and say checking the gender, checking gender. So let's put this way. So I say side of get. So side of get is a way to get the web element. So I'm going to paste this here, right? This is for the female. So I'm going to say dot click, all right? So I'm not necessarily going to use this first true. So dot click, then dot should, all right, be checked because, well, even though it is a radio button, I think I can still use checked, all right? Because normally you be check on a checkbox, but I think be check can still work on a radio button. So let's see. Now the next thing I want to do. Now remember that I said if you click on the gender female, right? This is it. Gender female. If you click on it, these other ones should not be should not be checked or should not be clicked. So now what do I do to know that the other ones are not clicked simultaneously? Because I've seen a situation where you were testing and you click one and multiple are clicked at the same time. That's wrong. So you can't be male and female at the same time. So how are you assure that others are not picked the moment you click on one? So what do? We also say checking that the male and other genders radio buttons are not checked. So how do I do that? It's T assertion. I'll just say side.get, all right? So in the side.get, I'll paste this here. Now, this gender from the inspection I make, I already saw that male was 1. So I'm going to cancel these 2 and put 1. Male was 1. So I'll say should. This time around, I don't want it to be checked. So I'll say should not be checked. So that's what I'm expecting. So the next one, side.get, all right, we are doing for the others now. So for the others, it is 3. Okay. So I'm going to say dot should not be checked as well. So that means if I clicked on these 2 guys, what we have done here is a negative testing, a negative check that others are not clicked when this has been clicked. All right. And if it was this one that I clicked, then I must be checking that this is not checked. Right. So that's that. Now, the next thing, mobile number. So I'm going to inspect this guy right away. After inspecting, let's see whether we have an ID for this. Okay, this also has an ID. All right. This also has an ID. So I'm going to pick it. I'm just going to go straight up and say, type in the phone number. The reason why you need to be putting comments is so that you will not get confused over time. Get side.get. So, oops, I'm not putting what I should put there. So now I'm going to say dot typed, right? Because I'm typing phone number inside. So I'm going to say 0703344. Okay, 344610. Now, when I was testing dot type, not typed, that feed, this number feed only takes about 10 numbers, not 11. So that's why I'm stopping at 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So I'm now going to say dot should. So now assertion should be done on every line of code that you are writing. That's how to know that your test is passing or failing. So assertions are very, very important. If you're not putting assertion, it's more like you are not doing anything. So assertion is a way to know whether your test is passing or failing. It's not just to be running codes. It's to the essence of your code is to know whether what you are running is passing or failing. So then you must be putting assertion on every element on how code where necessary, depending on what you want to achieve, depending on what you are testing for or checking for. Now, so that's for the phone number, right? So I'm going to pick this guy. Just going to paste it in. Paste it here. Now, for date of birth, I'm going to click on it after inspecting. So I'm going to pick the ID as well. So what happens? Yeah, 1 of 1. That is matching. So this is how to set date. So I'm going to say setting date of birth. Right. I'm inside of get. Then I'm pasting the locator. I'm going to say dot click. Right. Okay. Dot click. Now, so if I click, what happens next? So let's check. The moment I click on this guy, you see that this feed comes up. I mean, this calendar comes up, as you can see, right? Once I click, this calendar comes up. So how do I select the date? You need to inspect further. Let me show you. You need to click on this February month feed and pick a month. After picking the month, you need to click on the year, and then you need to the year. Then you need to select a day, and then it will be set like this. Now, that's just what I did, is what I'm also going to do with your code. So I'm going to click on it. After clicking on it, the next thing I want to do is to click on this. So how do I click on the feed, the month column? I'm going to inspect it as well. So now I'm inspecting, and you can see, you see that it's a select feed because it has multiple, options. So you have to select. It's a select feed, as you can see here. So I want to select. So I'm copying the class this time. I'm copying a class. There is no ID for this, so I'm copying the class. So in this case, I want to see. Now 1 of 1 is matching, right? So I'm going to copy this guy, come down here and say selecting the most of it. So I was selecting. That's why I'm using dot select. So this time, let's say the person was born in August. Okay. Person was born in August. Right. Now, Cypress, we click on the calendar, look for wherever there is August in this month feed, and then it's going to click it. It's going to select August. That's what we have done here. Now, after selecting August, the next thing we want to do is selecting the year of birth. Right, selecting the year of birth. So what do we do next? We go back and inspect. So if I inspect this guy, you see that it's also a select button, right? So I'm going to copy this class as well. Hello, guys. Are you still following? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. We are following.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Beautiful,
We are following.
beautiful stuff. So now I have gone. I've just copied for the year of birth, right? I'm going to say dot select as well because I'm selecting. This time I'm going to say, let's say 2006 was the year of birth for this person, and I'm going to say okay. Now the next thing is selecting the day of birth. Okay, so now I want to select the day of birth. Now remember that once I click on this guy, let's start again. If I click on this guy, this calendar pops up. I can choose the month that I want. Okay, let me do something. I want to choose another month. I can choose March. Let me choose. I think it's because I set it the other time. That's why it's okay. Let me just choose August. So I can choose August. After I have done that, I can come back here and also choose what year. I choose one as is, right? Then after doing that, I can select a particular date. So I want you to select, let's say August 9. That's what I want to select, right? So I'll come back. I will also inspect this August 9. This 9, I will inspect it. So I've inspected. So what happens? Upon my inspection, I can see that there are a number of things here. So how do I capture this guy? So there's a date picker. This is too long. I don't want something too long like this. So what should we do? Okay. Date picker, date picker, date picker. Okay. Let's see. Label. Does this work? That's too long. No. Don't want it this way. So let's see what can be done with this. 42 machine. That's too long. Okay. So I'm looking for what we can use to capture these 9 because we want to choose 9. So, well, there are ways you can go about it though. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to copy. I'm going to say copy selector. Now, I just copied the selector right now. And you can see there is one. Okay, I'm coming. Let's see. I think he's choosing it as I did. One of one machine. So I'm going to copy this guy. So I'm going to go back to the code. Where is this side of get? So I'm paste this guy here. I'll paste this guy here. I'll say dot. Oh, sorry, I think it's wrong there. I'm coming. Okay. Okay. Dot click. So we are clicking. We are choosing 9. So you see your major job, your very first job is to ensure that you are picking. Is to being able to locate this element you want to interact with. If you're unable to do that, then you'll be stopped. Now, the moment I click this guy, realize that the date was set, the date of birth was set. So I want to confirm that this date of birth was actually set after doing all of that. How do I do that? Assertion. So to use the assertion on it, I'll come down here, pick. Now remember that this feed, when we click on it, if you want to click on it, this is the locator to click on it, this locator. So I will use this same locator again. It's not different. To now find out whether the value have been set into it after, because I clicked on the locator first. I choose a month, I chose a year, I also chose a day. Then I want to find out whether what I have selected is what is there. So I'm using that locator. So I'm just going to say like this, dot should have dot value. So in this case, I'm going to say the value should be what. So let's check what goes on there. Let's check what we set. So this is the value it should has. I'm just going to copy this guy right now because that's what we set. So I'm going to say it should have this value. Simple. After we have set all of this, is it actually setting or not? That's what this is for. Assertion. The next thing is the subject feed. So this subject feed, this subject feed, we are saying a test automation class for scholars, right? So that's what we want to put inside this test feed. But before we do that, we need to inspect. This test feed, does it have an ID? I'm not sure. There's an ID for this. So let's inspect further. Okay. So there is a div, no ID. Okay, what's this? Okay. So here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to also right click and copy a particular selector. So you can do copy like this. You can go to copy and copy the selector and use it directly. But the problem with that route is that it doesn't make you vast in case where that what you copy is not working. So you should be able to build your own path. That's why I'm actually coming to the dump to do all those building stuff. Now, if I come up here, I can see ID subject container, right? Yeah, so there's an ID subject container up here. So we can possibly make use of this ID to run what we want to do. So I'll paste this here. I'll come back here, copy this guy, this subject container. So I will do this. You see, one of one machine is matching this guy. So I'm going to copy guy this way and come here and say typing to the subject field. I'll say site.get, right? So what am I doing? Type, because I'm typing into it. I'm going to say, what am I typing? Okay, there's automation course for scholars. So this is what I'm typing inside. So I'm going to come here and paste it, perhaps. After pasting, I'm going to say dot should have dot value, right? I can use have dot test. I can use contains. It doesn't necessarily have to be dot value all the time, but let's just go with this. So now we have done all of this. Let's even run it, whether our code is even working. Yeah, let's run this and see whether it's working. So I'm running it right now. Are you still here with me, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So let's see what happens. So that is currently going. So something is failing. It's saying being covered by another element. Okay, so you see, this is failing the gender. We wanted to click on gender, female. You say try now because this element is being covered by another element. So this is what we need to do to fix that. Where is it again? The gender, where we ask it to be clicked. Gender click. So here we are going to make use of what we call force true. Force true is a way to force Cypress to click on what we want, regardless of whether an element is covering it or not. So I'm going to say force true, right? So I'm going to run it again now. So so this is what I did. I just put a bracket, then force true inside that click parameter or click function or method, as it were. So let's see what happens this time. So it's taking some time out. The website will not be loaded as of the time. So Cypress normally takes some time while loading a website, depending on the resource that website is calling, right? Before it starts running your codes. Otherwise, it might fail if all the resources are not available as of the time where you're supposed to work. We're supposed to start automating. Beautiful, 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 beautiful stuff. Oh, it's not seeing the day. Yeah, so it failed because it's not seeing the day. Can you see? So look at the things we have done. You can see that it typed in the email, the mobile number, the date of birth. Now it gets to where it's supposed to type in, but it's not clocking in. So what happens there? Selecting the day of birth. So side of get. So let's see. Get day of birth. Trying to but never found it. Okay. So that wasn't found. So we are going to find out why. Okay, now we have selected the month, we have selected the year. So this is what wasn't found. This. So we need to change the locator again. This locator is what we need to just change. So let's go back. What wasn't found? Day of birth. So this is the guy that wasn't found. So go back to inspect. Let's see again. How can we find it uniquely? Okay. And then let us use contain. If we use contain, it's just going to take a lot of time. Okay, let's do something different. Let's pick this. Control V. Yeah. It's going to pick it this time. So we have found something unique, not too long, right? So let's go back and just remove all these yeah. Okay, coming. Okay, so let's run that again. Okay, I honestly think we should just go ahead and finish up with all the elements, and then we start running from the beginning and see wherever is wrong, then we correct it, and before our automation code is then perfect, so we don't take too much time here. Okay, I think we stopped at where did we stop, please? Where did we stop here? I think subject, right?
Yes. Yes.
Still not finding it. Still not finding it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, okay, let me even check what is going on there. I found it. Let's click. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to make use of force through here. If it doesn't work this time, then we might have to look for another element just yet. But then let's go ahead and complete the others. Then we start debugging wherever we are having issues. So it can be faster. So now what's next? So the next thing we want to do is to, I think we have typed here, right? We have done this. So we have hobbies. So now I'm going to inspect this guy. Okay. I'm inspecting one of the hobbies. So if you look at this, you are going to see hobbies, that's for equals to hobbies checkbox 1, right? So I'm going to pick that. Then I'm going to paste it here. See, it's matching sports. Yeah. This is not what I want. Okay. I think I'm finding ID. So ID is a lot better. Yes, it's picking up. If you look up here, if you look at this where I'm clicking right now, where my mouse is, it has to be matching this checkbox. So if I click here now, you see that it's picking that checkbox exactly. So that's what we want. Now if I change this one inside this what's it called, search box that you are seeing, if I change this 1 to 2, You see that it's matching reading. If I change it to 3, it's matching music. So now I'll just copy this whole thing. Then I'll come back here. I will say checking the hobbies. Check pause. Right. So here I will say side of get. Then I'll just paste this guy here. That's the first one. And the first one is, I think, sports, right? I'll say click. I can use click, right? I can use click. So then I will say dot should I don't think should be checked. We work on this, but let's try it. Should be checked. Right. So let's see. If I can check this, I can check this, I can check everything practically. I have privilege to, because this is checkbox, which means I can select my hobbies, sports, reading, da 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 da. So then the next one, I want to also check for sport. I've checked for sport. This for sport. Then I want to check for the second one is what? Reading. So I want to check for reading. Then I also want to, I don't want to check for music. So that's 3. I don't want to check for music. I will now say should not be checked. Right. So the next one, what are we doing? We are typing into the address feed. Okay, no, that's not address. The next thing we are doing is we are uploading a file, right? So, and this has an ID actually. So I'm going to select the ID, come down here and say uploading a file or a picture. So I'll say side of get, right? Okay. So dot select file. Now, if you want to select a file, first thing you need to do is to copy that file, bring it under this fixture. Now, how do you do that? There are several ways to do that. Just from your file, from your folder, you can copy, just like you are dragging an image. You can drag the image and drag it down to this fixture. It will appear here. It will appear here. That's what I've done here. If you were not in the last class, please pick it up and see what we did to bring your file down here. So this is the file I want to upload. So all your test data normally should be inside fixtures. So this file is already inside fixtures. So I'm going to right click on the file. I'm going to copy relative part and I'm going to paste it here. So I've done that. Then I can also use first true in case of any element covering it. So I'll just say first true so that we can be on the safer side. Right. So I've done that. But after doing that, I want to confirm that what I've uploaded is actually uploaded. So I want to ascertain that the picture was uploaded successfully. So what do? I say site.get, all right? No, I want to use site.contains actually to assert. So if I come to the website here and I upload an image. So let me upload an image. I'm uploading this image. You see that the moment I uploaded, this guy comes up, sample file.jpg. That is the name of the file that I uploaded was shown on the system. If that's the case, I want to confirm that that name is available. That is, that name is actually visible. That is what is going on. So I'm going to say contains this guy, and if it contains it, that's after uploading, I'm saying it should contain. And if it contains it, I am saying that I want it to be visible. So I'm going to say dot should. Yep, please go ahead. Ask the question.
Okay. Your screen went off the other time.
Okay, is it up now?
It's on now.
Okay, beautiful. Now, so what am I doing here? We are uploading a picture. After uploading the picture, select file. That's the command for the action for it. After doing that, next thing I want to do is to, site dot contains, since it has been uploaded, I want to confirm whether what I uploaded was actually uploaded. So I'm saying I want the file to be visible. That's what I'm saying. That's how to know whether my upload was successful or not. So the next thing here is address. So I'm going to just say click on it. Then I can find ID for this address, right? So if you look at it, it's matching with it 1 of 1. So I'm going to pick it. I'm going to come down here and just going to say type in the current address right now. So site.get, all right? So I'm pasting it here. I'm going to say dot type. Of course, I'm typing inside it. So I'm going to say I live where the earth starts and where it ends at the same time. So that's why I live anyways. So now I don't know whether there's anyone that lives in this address. No? Well, let's go ahead. So now I want to confirm that it was actually typed. So I'll just say should have dot value. So by now you should be familiar with assertion like this. So should have the value. I live where the earth starts and where it ends. So that's how to know whether what I typed going, all right, or it has been typed in. So then the next thing is what's the next thing there? State. So if you look at this guy, this state, you will see that there are two things here, state and city. There is a state, there is a city. Once I select a state, then I can select a city, right? So the first thing is I want to even confirm whether our time is fast spent. So okay, so this is it. I don't want to go through the route of entering all of this from the beginning again. So I'll just say select. Okay. Now I want to enter current address anywhere I live is where the gold mine is. Right. Now, so if you look at this state and city, right, I can type into it. I can type into it. I can type into it. So I don't need to use select. I'll just type into it. But if I type into it, if I say NCR, right, you see that the NCR is showing below. So I
Hello, can anyone hear me? Yes, I Professor Six.
It's not on the call again now.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
You're welcome back, sir.
Oh, Jesus is Lord. So when when did you guys lost the session?
Welcome back, sir.
Like 5-10 minutes.
Like 5 to 10 minutes ago.
5-10 minutes ago, sir. You've not been on.
And no one decided to just try to call or something. I've been talking, like
No, people
seriously.
on mute their mic. It's just that we're thinking maybe you left the call and you come back for into the call.
I mean, someone could have called. I've been talking since I was just now saying, hello, can you guys hear me? And I decided to check. I realized I wasn't hearing the call. Oh boy. Okay. All good. So where are we? Where did you guys lost the whole stuff? At what point? Where were we when you couldn't hear me anymore? Hello, guys. Where were we when you couldn't hear me anymore? Please, you need to talk now so I can know where to jump at. Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we need to talk now. So where did you lose? Where did you lose the session?
Okay, I think you were at the point where we were trying to.
At the point where I was trying to do what?
Where the office
To
Upload.
select state and city.
Yes.
To select city, state and city.
Yes, sir. State and city.
Okay.
We're just we we're typing in state. Then you're trying to explain to us that even after typing it, it's as if it requires us to click on the state. I think that was
Okay. I think I get that. All right, let me come back here. Now, can you see my screen right now, the form?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now. So
yes, sir.
you know when I was still on the session when I talked about current address, right? Where I put current address and this guy. So I was on state and city when you lost it. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, so in this state and city, you can
Yes.
type in. So in this state and city, you can type in. You can, as you can see, I see the cursor, breathing. So you can say NCR. You can type whatever you want to type in, Huta, right? So, but in my case, I just say NCR. So after saying that, you need to click it. You need to now press enter, or select this NCR before it can, it can be, what's it called, append to this particular feed. So because of that, I'm going to select it this way. The same thing here. I'm going to, if you type in, you need to now select it. So the same way, you need to now select it. So how do you achieve that in Cypress? I came down here and I said, so what I did was get the ID, just like we have been doing before for the state. Then you type NCR and put this enter. This is the magic there. This enter is what will help you to now select it. Then we are making an assertion. Should you have the value? Then the same thing goes with city. Once you have selected this guy, then you are able to pick a city. You type in first, click enter, and then you have the value. So that's what I've done. Then also for the submit button, the same scenario. You pick the submit ID and then you click on it. After clicking on it, we are going to have this box. Once I click on submit, you are going to have this box to show that, oh, it has been successfully submitted. But for me to know, for me to actually confirm that it was successfully submitted, I need to do assertion. And I'm picking this text. Thanks for submitting the form, copying it, and going back to my Cypress and say site.contains. And I put the thank you message here, right? And I say dot should be visible. That's what I have done basically. So I'm saying this text should be visible. So that's all I have done in the last 10 minutes that I have lost the session. Now, I'm going to run this whole thing, but before I run it, remember that we are having issues with this this day of birth, right? So let's quickly resolve that. Let's see where the issue is coming from again. So I'm going to come to day of birth, pick this guy. Can you see any guys? Are you with me?
So
yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to select that 9 again. I'm going to inspect. So this time, let's find a better way to handle that guy. Okay. So I pick this guy. Just hold on. Let's see a better way to run it. Speaker, blah, 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 blah. Disable area 8. Okay. Was it even disabled? Just hold on. I need to confirm something. Can't be disabled now. Of course not. Okay. All right. Let's see what we can do here. 42 matching. Then we will see some other nights. So let's see. It's definitely going to see another night, so it's not going to work. Let's find another element. Go back here. Okay. This thing I'm doing currently is add coding. I don't want it that way. 1 of 1. Let's see whether this works. So that's not the best approach for it. I don't just want to waste time here. Okay. Yeah, let's see whether this works right now. So I'm going to be running the code now, and let's see what happens. Oops. So we are currently waiting for it to run. My first test. I think the network is slow right now, but it's going to run anyways. What's going on? Let's see. So the test is running. So I think there are a number of results being called on this side. So it takes a while. Cypress is taking time to load all the elements properly before it starts, executing the test. So you should start now. Okay. I'm going to do that again. So while that is going on, I want to change something in here. So this is my first test. I'm going to change it to student registration form. Registration form. Okay, it's already going up. It's going to fail. Yeah. I know that. All right, so now we got to, I think the date is working now, right? As you can see, it's picking it. Test automation course for scholars is also typing, so but something is going wrong there. Okay, this time we are seeing the assertion was failing. So why is the assertion failing? That's what we need to find out. It says trying out to have value test automation course for scholars, but the value was so. Okay, let's do something. Let's go back there. This is where it was failing, right? So test automation course for scholars. Test automation score for scholars. So let's use how does test this time, and we're going to run it again. All right, is this something? Okay, I think we are good. So let's wait for it. So one of the things you need to do is in order for you not to waste time, right? Just go straight and automate, do all the automation, then start debugging, running, and finding where there are issues. Then you just, there and there, finish it up, and then clean all the issues, and then you are good. So you don't want to run, automate one thing, go and find out, automate another thing, go and find out, it's going to fail again. So why? Let's see. To have test, but the test was result. Okay. Use up and down, shoes press. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do something else. This is what I'm going to do this time. Test. So let's try that out. But if it doesn't work this time, I'm just going to skip that and we'll go ahead. Guys, are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so we are still here, sir. Can you go down?
Yeah, sorry. Oh, boy. Yeah, something is wrong. It's going to fail. Okay. So I think contain is working with that, but this is not working. We are trying to click on sports, reading, and this guy. So something is not working there. So what is going on? So when we use content.test, that works. All right. So these are the things you just need to know about. Just need to know your way around it. Before we were using half.test, half.value, it wasn't working. Then it was changed to content.test, and that works. That's perfect. Actually, we are trying to see whether inside the subject now, the input field now contains this guy. So that's what we have just done. So this value is not working. So let's check. I mean, this particular hobby we are trying to click, but that is not working. So let's check what is going on. So it's saying click because this element, okay, input is being covered by another element. Now, I've already told us if something is being, if you see anything that is saying is being covered by another element, all you need to do is just to use false true, and then you are good to go. So inside here, I'm going to use, I'm going to put brackets, I'm going to put false true, all right, like this, and then we are good. So, like I said the other time, I'm not sure this check will work because inside the inspection, the tag is not checkbox. The tag is not checkbox. Because of that, I'm not sure it will work, but let's try it out. When you inspected, right, the tag should be checkbox. If it is not checkbox, it's not going to, it's not certain. If you see this label, you see label input label, you know, there's nothing like checkbox, check here. So because of that, I'm not sure it's going to work. But then let's try out. So again, I'm going to use false true here too, so that we don't. So we are saying this one should not be checked. Okay, we can't be saying click and then be saying should not be checked, right? Because if you click it, it will be checked. So we are saying don't click. So don't, without clicking it, we are saying we want to check whether it is not checked. So that's what we are doing. So the moment we use click, it's going to be checked, and this will fail. So I just remove the click so that this will pass. Now let's run the script again. Now, this that I'm doing is the most simplest of the simplest. Now, if I start going to page object model, where we start creating classes, importing classes, using fixture.keys and all of that, using some JavaScript stuff, oh boy, by that time, he also say, so you want to do QA, you want to do QA, you want to do QA. Don't think there is no code, though. There is code in QA. All right. But of course, you can get started doing work and all of that without necessarily writing codes. And of course, you'll be good. Something's going to fail. So why is it failing? All right. Now, if you look at this guy, okay, so we are going to see why that is failing. But then if you look at what we just did right now, you see that it now works. But if you look at the subject, okay, you see that it wasn't typed in. So we need to find out why too. It wasn't typed in. But our upload was done. But after the upload was done, the assertion wasn't passing. So why? So if you look at this, it says they're trying to find it, but never did. So, and this is it. Side dot contains this guy should be the visible. So it wasn't picking it. So let's find out why that is going on. Where is it again? Where is the guy? Where is the guy? Where is the guy? Where is the guy? Okay, after uploading, yep, we uploaded. Then we now say side dot contains, yep, sample. Where is it again? Sample file. This guy. Sample file. I think that is correct. Dot should be visible. Okay, so I'm going to say dot weight 3000. So the reason why I'm putting weight to see, probably because it wasn't, but the element was visible. Should capture it immediately. So let me check something here, right here. I know why it wasn't passing. We were missing something. So what we say something should be visible. What? We were not returning what should be visible. That's why. So we are just going to pick up this guy again and say if if it contains this guy, it should be visible. So what should be visible? We need to return it like this. That's why it was failing. So for the subject, where is it again? Subject. Subject. I was typing it, but wasn't typing it. So let's try again, basically. Okay, so I think by default, this is not actually staying. Oh, guys, can you see something? I think we were typing our own thing, but I just noticed right now that this subject, once you start typing something, it brings up a few stuff, right? as you can see. Hello, are you with me? Can you see what I'm saying?
So it's a drop down, not.
So it's a drop down, yeah, not an input feed as per se. So I'm going to click this, go back. So I'm going to come back to the subject. I'm going to write chemistry. Chemistry, right. So once I write chemistry, I will now click. So chemistry. So what I will do now is simple. I'll just come back to where we have that subject here, right? I'm going to say type in chemistry for me. Chemistry. After typing, I want you to do I want you to click enter, all right? Because that's what it is. I want you to click enter for me. So I'm now saying should contain chemistry. I hope you understand what I just did here. I just changed it to, because what we were doing before was just typing inside it what we want. But I now realized that it wasn't an input feed, but rather a drop down. So the moment I type chemistry comes up, and then I entered it like this. I can even enter multiple, as you can see, but I'm not going to go through that route right now. So so what I'm doing here is typing chemistry and clicking enter button. So I'm now checking that I should test chemistry. So let's run it again and see what happens. So we are running it right now. Let's see how everything passes now. Once it does, then we are good to go. Guys, are you still with me? Okay, you can see that it's running now. It's running. Chemistry. If I type in the chemistry, okay, what happens there? Let's check. Let's check what happens. Okay. It was the assertion that failed. Hello guys, do you have any questions? So let me answer your question before we close. We are closing now.
Yes, sir. I have like 2 questions.
Okay, go ahead.
The first one is I want to be sure about, whenever you go to that element side, I don't know how I call it now. Okay, when you inspect, you usually make reference to matching one of one. What happens?
Yep.
Or what's the implication of 1 of 2 or like 1 of 42 that we saw the other time?
The implication is that Cypress will be confused of what element you are trying to call. So there are a lot of elements. Like there is name, there is first name, last name, email. There are a lot of them like that. So if it is not matching one, Cypress will be confused which one of those elements you are trying to call. Do you understand? It will be confused which of these elements are you trying to call. So it will not know where to pick or what not to pick. So that's why it has to be one of one. That's why it has to be one of one. So how should I explain this now? So it's like having um, a lot of children on the in the play feed, in an open feed. They are playing football or something, and then all of them are wearing yellow, and then someone just says, um, I want you to pick I want to pick one of the students with a big head. All right. Then you want to pick one of the students that has big head, but all of them are wearing yellow. You now say, please go ahead and find a student that puts on yellow on the feed. Right. Once you get there, you are confused which one to pick because all of them are wearing yellow. But by the time you drill down and say the one with big head, you now got there, you see that, okay, there are about 40 of them with big heads. Now, you are still confused because you are saying the one with big head. You now need to go further to say, beyond with big head, I need the one whose name is Dio. You now get there and say, which one is Dio? And you find out there are 10 people who are Dio. You now say, oh, I need the one which email is adedayo.ajayi@gmail.com. Now, that is simple and straightforward. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So that's the reason. That's the reason why it has to be very, very granular.
Okay, is that the reason why you were saying that at some point you noticed some of the, permit me to call it statements, they were longer and you were saying this one is long and you're looking for a shorter one. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that was what I was looking for, something more unique actually. When something is long that way, most of the time when developers are making changes, they are likely going to make changes in those nested nested codes. So because of that, your codes will start breaking. So it's better to make use of something that developers will not change, and that is ID. Most of the time they won't touch the ID because ID is ID. Do you understand? But the moment you are using class, you are using some of those other elements, they are likely going to change over time. So that is why I prefer that you make use of ID so that you don't have to do a lot of work changing, maintaining your codes, changing things over and over and over again. Do you get? So I'm trying to find
Yes.
out what is wrong here. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So once you are running your code and it is failing, right? All you need to do is just be reading the test runner. Is pretty straightforward. Just read the test runner, see what is going on, make the changes, and then run your code again. You are good. Right? So I think at this junction, we'll be ending today's class. This video will be available maybe sometimes tomorrow or next tomorrow. Yeah, you have a question.
Yeah, I've not asked my second question.
Okay,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead,
please, for everyone. Sorry. I'm trying to really understand the end results, what exactly we're looking for, because I'm tempted to ask what exactly is the test case here, or let's say, because in fact, when we got to the end, I thought we were just trying to test if those values, if those, I don't know the right words, if all of these items here are functioning. I thought that was what we're looking for up till you submitted, and manually you submitted. So I was even trying to think whether you are checking the submit button or you want to know whether to submit, and then eventually you came to now test the next page to check for thanks for submitting. So I wanted to be sure what exactly are we driving at in this particular.
Okay, so this whole thing, what are you doing? You are registering a student, right? This whole thing, this is student registration, you are registering a student and you entered all the details. Now, the moment you click on submit button, this submit, click, the student is registered, right? So how do you confirm that the student was registered if that boss, thanks for submitting, doesn't comes up? Now, it comes up, right? But how do you know that it comes up with your code? That's the essence of this guy. That's why we are doing site.contains should be visible. Assertion is just to find out that, oh, the student was successfully registered. Is that clear?
Yes, sir, it's clear. But are we now saying that while we are doing this automation test with Cypress, and in the background, we will also be doing manual testing?
That's it now. You are doing manual test, side-by-side automation. That's what it is.
Okay, that means I had it wrong. But I used to think that automation is a replacement for manual, and you just run it and it goes. Thank you, sir.
That's why I was saying that before you go to automation, the base is manual. Automation is a waste of time. Do you understand?
Yes, yes.
So when you're automating, you're also doing manual testing. It's side by side. So why are you doing all of this? In fact, you can't automate a system that is unstable. If you are doing a front-end automation just like we are doing with this guy right now, right? You can't automate a system that is very, very unstable. You can't, because it will keep changing. The element in the DOM will keep changing. So because of that, your code will keep breaking and you keep maintaining scripts. So that is why you have to first work on, ensure that this thing is working properly manually before you now go ahead to start doing before you now go ahead to start doing automation of the scripts. Do you understand? So
yeah,
automation of the system. So now why are you doing all this automation? After doing all this automation now, tomorrow might come and they say, oh, we want to upgrade the system. We want to add something to this system. We want to add that to that system. You don't need to now start doing manual tests for the whole thing. You just run your code. And then your code will just keep running, and then you're able to give feedback to the developer. Oh, something is breaking here, something is breaking there. This is what is expected there. This is not working again. You give faster feedback and you automate. That's why, as a QA engineer, you are not a QA should not be jacks of all trades, should not be doing everything. Normally, companies should have QA engineers who are just automating. We should have QA engineers who are just doing manual testing. We should have QA engineers who are just doing performance or doing, there are different feeds under QA. Do you understand? So one person should not be given this whole task to be doing automation. There are people that all they do is just API testing. There are people that all they do is just writing codes, automation tests, and there are people that all they do is just manual. But today in Nigeria, most companies want you to do everything. They want to put everything on you and just kill you. But then it is what it is. Did you get that?
Thank you so much, sir. It's very, very clear, and I'm grateful.
Yep. I want to do something. So this element is being covered by another element, so I'm just going to use first true. So first true here. I'm also going to use it here. First true. But like I said again, all these things I've just taught you, they are basics. All right. This one is not intermediate and it's not advanced. It's basic, very, very basic. This is an intro. Do you understand? So, and this intro, you need to know it very well before you even start moving to the next one. Otherwise, you will run away from QA2. So, guys, any other question from anyone? If there are no other questions, then we are coming to the end of this. Let's finish running this guy and then we close for today. And then your next class will be next week. I think next week, Saturday, right? If that is correct. So next week, Saturday, you are going to be having practical aspect of, I think, is that job I think you need to check practical aspect of job something. Okay. All right. Anyways, so we are just going to end it here today. I think it is finished somewhere here. Type it was very much following selectors. So now practically this is just what it is, how to run it, how to go about this and all of that. So you see what is failing, what is passing, why it is failing, why it wasn't failing, and all of that. So that's practically how to go about your automation tests. All right, guys. Before we close, let me check what you guys are having next week Saturday. So next week Saturday, you'll be having a guest. Let me just check from here. So next week Saturday is the end of this program. Yep, that's constant. But then there is a class in the morning where you are going to be taught how to prepare for jobs, how to attend the interview, how to structure your CVs. You should be taught next week Saturday. And so practical aspect of job preparation, that's what you're having. Then in the evening, final group project presentation. So that's it. So guys, thank you for joining today's section. We meet again next week, Saturday. Till then, please enjoy yourself. Ensure you go back to all the videos we have been sharing, all the things you have learned. Don't let them stop here. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.